We used a budget to go from over $20,000 in credit card debt to becoming millionaires just this year. Here are our top 5 tips on creating a monthly budget. Here from Holy City Family. Our goal is to empower you to achieve financial independence and provide the best education to your children so that everyone can pursue their dreams and ambitions.
If it's your first time here, thank you for joining us. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure you receive our weekly updates. All of our videos are for informational purposes only and do not constitute financial advice. Please do your own research. Consult a certified and trusted financial planner who will put your interests above their own before following any advice we may offer.
Before we get into our tips, here's a background of how we used to spend our money. We bought 2 jet skis with a credit card, which we later then sold, and then bought a boat. We went out to eat often. We consistently spent more than we actually made, and then we didn't really have a budget at all, like nothing. No. We had 2 student loans, high mortgage payment, we had a car payment, and then we also had a leased vehicle, and then we had no emergency fund or savings at all.
So in 2012, we hit our breaking point. I noticed that Amber was spending a lot at Michael's arts and crafts store, and so I decided to export our last 6 months of transactions from checking and credit cards to Excel. And I was just kind of fumbling my way through it, and I started breaking the purchases down into categories, and I was really shocked at what we found. The biggest category was surprisingly $1,000 a month at Michael's for like throughout that 6-month period that we looked at.
Like nothing.
$600 a month on restaurants and $600 a month on groceries, and this at the time was for just the 2 of us. We started using Mint, and the rest is history. Now let's get into what we found helpful when creating and managing our budgets.
Tip number 5, set up an emergency fund. This is one that we failed to do for many years up until 2012 when Jared actually realized something had to change. Once we decided to do it, it took many months to save enough money to build this up, which that was not easy at all.
No, absolutely not.
It's not easy. But here at Holy City Family, we believe that an emergency fund is crucial to your financial security.
So one question you might have is, how much should you have in your emergency fund? According to the website Money Under 30, most financial experts recommend that you have somewhere between 3 months and 6 months of basic living expenses in your emergency fund. The 3-month guideline is generally recommended for those who are in a salaried position and have more secure employment. The 6-month recommendation is for those that have a less stable employment or earn a variable income. Another question you might be asking yourself is, when should you use the money in the emergency fund? Dave Ramsey says you should ask yourself 3 questions when you're thinking about that. Is it unexpected? Is it necessary? And is it urgent?
Tip number 4, review your expenses. We suggest if you're just now starting a budget that you review your spending from the previous year, so that will ensure that you cover all your expenses both monthly and annually.
So the majority of our expenses come out of our main checking account. These are things like the mortgage, our auto payments, insurance, things like that. We then have a separate checking account that we just set up to move a specific amount of money into, specific to the budget for those items. And we do this every quarter for things like groceries, kid purchases, and personal shopping. We know that we're more likely to go over in these categories, and that's why we focused on those and we broke those up into a separate checking account. So this allows us to monitor those categories and to keep an eye on that cash flow.
Tip number 3, use a budgeting app. For us, Mint is our favorite budgeting tool. It's one of the tools in our toolbox that we use on a daily basis.
So why do we love using Mint? They have a very easy to use website and a mobile app, which we can both have access to very quickly and easily. Mint automatically syncs with all of our accounts and categorizes our purchases. If something isn't auto-categorizing correctly, you can quickly change that for all the past transactions and the future transactions for that merchant. And a side note, this is something that's very uncommon with the other budgeting apps that we've looked at. It also also utilizes green, yellow, and red status bars for every category. And this is something that's easy for us to use, and it quickly shows which areas we're over budget and under budget. It gives you the ability to use custom categories based on your family's spending. Also the trends feature. This is something that's only available on the website, but something that we use a lot, especially for tax time. And this allows you to see a variety of different pie charts and bar charts on your finances.
If you're looking for other budgeting apps, take a look at what NerdWallet says are the best budgeting apps. Pocket Guard, which is great for simplified budgeting snapshot. Mint, which is best for budgeting and credit monitoring. Every Dollar, that's great for zero-based budgeting. Good Budget, if you're using a shared envelope budgeting system. Honeydew, which is great for budgeting with a partner. And then Personal Capital, which is best for tracking wealth and spending. And we use this one to watch all of our spending and investments, and we'll share more on that in a later video.
Tip number 2, review your budget. Your budget and financial goals can change from month to month, so it's a good idea to have a monthly meeting. See where you could dial back on your spending, and yes, I'm about to say it, see where you could actually spend more. Hold your family accountable and make adjustments along the way. Stay focused on the why, the reason that you have your budget in place, and that should be your long-term goal.
So treat your budget like it's part of the family. Hold those monthly checkups. Everyone gets a routine checkup annually, and even your car gets a checkup every 3 months, so why not your budget, which is a very important thing for your family. Say you paid off some debt. Now you have a little extra money in your budget. This is your opportunity to assess where you can redistribute it and even add to building that emergency fund that we talked about in the beginning of the video.
Tip number 1, set goals. And this one is the most important. It's important to set goals together with your family and individually. We start off each year by taking a day to really focus on setting goals. Well, let's be honest, with kids, it's more like a few days than a day.
A few days and a night.
But anyway, on these days, we set up a process where we go through our individual and family goals, and that's really helped us gain control of our spending and help us to remember the why that we just talked about.
So here's how we set our annual goals. First, we take one copy each, and then we spend time over that week to focus on our individual goals, and then we rank those for ourselves. Next, we then find a day where we come together and we share our individual goals with each other. And then during this time, we then take our third copy and we make our family goals from that. So we decide together what we want to focus on, and then we rank those too. And then from that, we pick one area that we both agree would be our top priority for the year. And so then we make sure to set dates throughout the year to analyze our goals and come back both individually and with our family goals.
So to recap, here are our 5 tips on creating and managing a budget. Number 5, set up an emergency fund. Number 4, review expenses. Number 3, use a budgeting app. Number 2, review your budget. And number 1, set goals. We've learned a lot since we started budgeting in 2012. As our life has changed and our family's grown, we're always trying to hit a moving target with this budget. We seem to learn a little more about our spending and our savings every time we sit down and look at our budget. But I will say it does get easier as time goes on, and you get to understand, get a little better understanding of your strengths and your weaknesses when it comes to your spending.
Think about these stats. Money is consistently ranked as the #1 reason couples fight. What if you could actually change this in your life? And what if money was something that would actually bring you together? 44% of people say that money is a dominant source of stress in their lives, more than relationships or work. And for me, I can remember when I was working, I felt like I couldn't take time off for vacation, or like I felt like I would be quickly replaced or fall behind. So to me, it was easier just to not take time off, which we all know is not good for our sanity and our family's sanity. So we hope that you're able to take these tips that we've shared and implement them into your budget planning to achieve the financial independence that you deserve.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and reach out to us in the comments below. You can also email us and follow us on Instagram.
So our goal is to actually read every comment and respond as often as we can, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel and join us as we learn, save, and grow together.
Bye! Have a good day!
It's recording.
Every time you look at me.
Categorizes our purchase. Something, if this is